I'm here with Augustin Olivares. He's a great guy to talk to on markets and a good friend of mine. We went to graduate school together at Texas A&M in the finance master's program. How are you doing, Augustine?
I'm doing great, Peter. Thank you for asking. As you can see, I'm bundled up for the winter uh, and keeping it a little more formal.
Yeah, I like it. Sounds good.
Yeah, you know I threw this on last minute.
Right. Right.
Yep. Well, Peter, I wanted today to talk with you about number one, introduce to whoever might will be watching that number one, congratulations for finding a channel that had some issues. And Peter can tell you that YouTube was not so kind to his old channel. Number two, please subscribe and like, because Peter had over 1.5 thousand, I believe, or close subscribers, and now is down to where you see the count now upon release around in the hundreds, and it's totally below and undervalued. So I just want you to treat Peter like the greatest stock that has not been discovered yet. And pump it, baby, pump it. And I hope Peter gets more people to tune into the channel, and also to get interviews going, with him because they're important. As Peter said, we went to MSF together at A&M, Mays Business School, made it through. We are the legendary class of 2020. We withstood some of the worst weather. I wish Peter would upload the videos that he had, the interviews of us. Man, we went through the storm together in 2020, but we're here. That's not the point. The past is the past. The present is the present. And today, our discussion is a basket of stocks that I wanted to just briefly mention. I call it what I was calling it was the endorphin basket or the dopamine basket. Pick your poison. But I would like to mention them. Peter, take it away if you'd like to take your the stand here for your whatever your points are. But I wanted to talk about my idea for a nice investment for this bull market that's about to come.
Okay, excellent. And one of the stocks I know we talked earlier is Mr. Cooper, largest non-bank mortgage lender in the country today in the US. Could you talk to the audience about why you like that company and so forth?
So I have indirectly serviced Mr. Cooper in a sense at an insurance company that I worked at called Goosehead, and they're a broker and they handle multiple insurance companies. So you can think of your State Farms, you can think of your Allstates, your Geicos, everything like that. This is a broker. We dispensed all of those to our customers. Mr. Cooper was, and this is home and auto insurance. So in home insurance, Mr. Cooper was the servicer, and that's just for many loans, many new homes that we insured through our mortgage lenders. So as we conducted business with Mr. Cooper, who could also, in my experience, do mortgage lending, they had not only that to service, but they did full loan servicing where it wasn't just when rates would decrease, they would get new clients. It was as whatever level rates were at, up or down, they were servicing REITs. They were servicing people who were invested in the market, mortgage-backed securities. They were calling the clients and making sure they were making their payments on time. So this is a company that has skin in the game in this regard. And by being a servicer, it's a great asset for a company like Mr. Cooper. Again, they're not just benefiting strictly from lower interest rates and getting more clients to sign on for homes. They're benefiting from their current clients, servicing them, making sure their payments are on time in escrow, making sure everything's going well. And they've proven themselves time and time again to be able to do that great. And they actually make a commission from that. Like, I think it's like 0.25 or 0.3% of each home loan that they service. So if you take about that over time, they have a large amount of revenue that they make in that arena, thousands of dollars And they're servicing many loans. It might even be more than that, but just, yeah, on the downside, under 1%, but generally on a 400 to $500,000 loan, maybe even $1 million, we're talking about, several thousands of dollars that they're making. Just, I think it's I'm not sure if it's yearly or monthly, but they make money in this realm, and not just, again, from new clients. So that's a stock you should purchase, because no matter what, they are going to be servicing these loans, no matter what's happening up or down on the market. You want to hedge this stock with Goosehead Insurance. Okay, Goosehead insurance carrier. Again, I worked for them. They are another great buy right now. They're undervalued per se. They're just kind of on a roller coaster here. They're just in a down market in this sense. Home buying is not optimal right now. But if, let's say, at any rate, Mr. Cooper were to be, clients were to be decreasing because rates were decreasing. I'm sorry, clients were to be increasing because rates were decreasing, you could get Goosehead's investment in the market where they're going to be applying new clients to their market interest with insurance. So new homes, new insurance, everything like that. And no matter what, in this case, the market is up to, an insurance carrier is always going to be there to, again, service the insurance on these homes. Okay. So their homes are existing, they need insurance. It's a broker that has many options. It's not singular here. Okay. That's also a great investment to combine with a mortgage lender. Now, next investment, if you go into the corporate real estate, McDonald's, okay, McDonald's is going to be the one you're going to want to buy. They're going to fly. Okay. This company is going to fly. And I mean fly. McDonald's is going to diversify. They are a real estate company, not a restaurant business. And they are huge. And they will never go away. And they're like a drug to society. And now, I hate to say it, but here's where we angle towards the vulnerable. And I know this sounds crazy, but it's true. The vulnerable are the youth of America who is out there eating McDonald's. And you know what? I could even go into the darker aspects of how McDonald's has a control on society, but I won't, because they've actually been restricted from using a lot of their mascots to go these routes where they sort of brainwash society with happy mascots and getting them to eat. But it just goes to show you that they have the potential and the power to use what they have at their advantage to addict people to their food and grow their business. And think about their unlimited upside. They are working at being a Chipotle-esque business. I don't care what anyone says. You can read articles. They want to be as successful as Chipotle. Might not be Chipotle, but they want to be as successful stock market wise as Chipotle. And we all know the price of the Chipotle stock is out the roof. Okay, so McDonald's is a great buy. And at the very least, they're a dividend buy. So they're going to pay you dividends. And at the very least with that, they are also sort of secure. So you're getting a secure dividend. Now on to that, let's go the direction of more secure dividends while we go into this real estate corporate McDonald's real estate homeowner. Let's go into, you want to even hedge it a bit more. You're going to add bonds. And what you're going to add is PIMCO corporate bonds. You're going to add, so this is the 1, 2, 3, this is the fourth stock you're going to add. It's an ETF. Okay. And this is called bond, BOND. It's an ETF, corporate AAA bonds. Okay. These are paying 4 to 5% interest a year, annualized. And you're getting, of course, a monthly dividend. And this is a down stock right now if you look at it price wise, but I find the price of a bond stock semi-irrelevant because you're basing it on their yield. So if the price goes up, great. What you want is this stock because this is what's supplied to corporate employees in their 401ks. PIMCO is very popular. It's a corporate bond account. You're going to get guaranteed payments, and you need to make this at least 20%, 15 to 20% of your account right now while we decide if we're going into a bull market. Okay. McDonald's, another 15 percent. We're talking about some specific risks here. With Mr. Cooper and Goosehead, another 15%. Okay. Hedge a little harder with the bond, BOND, maybe make it 20. Okay. So what are we at? 20, 15, McDonald's and half of, so 7.5 Mr. Cooper and 7.5 Goosehead. That's another 15. You're going 30, 40, 50 right now. Now, what's the other 50%, Augie? Okay. So you want at least 5% Berkshire Hathaway, but I'll get to that in a second. Okay, here's your next 15%. I want you to go Microsoft, 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 Microsoft. Microsoft has been talked about by the community for years. Back prior to COVID, this stock is going to go to $4,000. Okay, this is not a joke. I'm not making this up. There's going to be splits in the future. They haven't done a lot of splits, but they have done a few. It's been a while. It's been a while since Microsoft has split, but it shows you that they have the potential to split. They won't not split. And they're a cutting edge. I mean, these guys, this is like a 99% quadruple A, rated company that has just equity scored out the roof with every single possible broker. They have fallen. It's just no question with Microsoft. Look at when the Silicon Valley crash happened earlier this year, there was like a crash per year in the past 2 years. Microsoft rebounded. One time it didn't even affect them. This time it did. Everyone went down. The Russia crisis, all that good stuff. They came right back up. They are above, I believe, their previous high. Or right at, I mean, this is a time to buy it in the 300s. We're flying. The stock splits are going to come in the next $100, I believe, 150. You're going to be in business. Put them at a 15% allocation in your portfolio. So now we're at 65%. Next 15% here, you're going to want to go with, so 65, 75, 80. My math is off. Sorry. Next, let's do 20% Microsoft to bring it up to 70. And then let's do 20% Nintendo. This is a lot. 20% Nintendo. Why? Why 20% Nintendo, right? 20% Nintendo because Microsoft is planning to buy maybe Nintendo one day. Nintendo also is a nostalgia machine geared towards kids. Microsoft is also geared towards the younger generation in a sense, but not so much. Always. Nintendo definitely is. And Nintendo is going to continue to ride the wave of the gaming community that Microsoft has a market share of. And if there is this competition between the two companies, this spurs if not a plateau, at least a growth metric between the two companies. Nintendo cannot be outdone by Microsoft. This will always be a competition. The competition will grow over time. And if you look at Nintendo's stock history, it's not the greatest. They've had some issues. It's a relatively smaller Japanese company in a sense, as far as market share and market cap is concerned. But they have one incentive: to continue to fight their competitors, to be the best video game company, to be the best children's supplier of Pokemon and toys. They own Pokemon, by the way. And to be like what I would call a Disney, what I was telling Peter, a Disney without the park. A Disney without the park that keeps them actually losing in post-COVID world, where people are starting to stay at home more and find other ways to enjoy themselves. So the games are coming still. Keep it going. Microsoft might buy them one day. Disney has to up their game to keep up. The stock will go up. And if anything, it's what I call a dopamine fix. Microsoft and Disney and McDonald's, housing with insurance. I mean, how can you get more addictive than these stocks? And then the last one to fill in that last 10%, and please, spare me the hate for my lack of percentages here, but just know it's this number of stocks. The last one is going to be Berkshire Hathaway. Okay. So you have Mr. Cooper, Goosehead, you have McDonald's, you have Microsoft, you have Nintendo, and you got Berkshire. Last stock. Berkshire is going to basically follow the S&P 500, and sometimes it's going to occasionally outperform it by heaps. Okay, it's going to go above the S&P. Berkshire has actually been proven to outperform the market, period. Okay. There is no question. They have proven to outperform the market. They have proven to also fall harder with specific risks that they have during hard times in the market, and during Berkshire's bad news or something. If Warren Buffett dies, Charlie Munger just died. If Warren Buffett dies, there's going to be a dip, but that's the time to buy, because Berkshire's plan is to continue to outperform. That's just their plan. Their plan is to do that. So, and they're run by the smartest people in the world. Okay. And they're incredibly rich, and they haven't had a stock split. And look at where they are. So we're talking about Class B here, Class B, BRKB. Okay. And with new management, if Warren Buffett dies, you have, and people wouldn't think, but you have potentially a higher probability of having a split and getting more shares, and having them invest in more risky assets that might keep. Look, this portfolio is risk based. I want people to know that, but it's all of this stuff people are addicted to. This is an addiction basket. That's why this is fun. So you got McDonald's, you got Microsoft, you got Nintendo, you got Goosehead Insurance, which is a broker of every insurance carrier, and you got Mr. Cooper, who's high on houses at all times, and you got PIMCO bonds. Keep yourself safe with the corporate bonds. They're paying out. I don't care what you do with the rest of these, but keep at least 20% of this bonds, and keep a little bit of Berkshire Hathaway, maybe 10 to 5%. Okay. And I know I didn't get the percentages right. I'm sorry. I have them written out for Peter, but yeah, that's my idea. You know, if you can see that we're going those different directions. Yeah, are they very different? I don't know. There's a lot of enjoyment in each of these companies, I think, for years to come, you know. So Peter, what's your idea? I mean, you know, what's your opinion?
Well, I have a follow-up question to that. So you mentioned you believe that Nintendo will be acquired by Microsoft, but you want to be long both stocks. Why not be short Microsoft to benefit from a merger arbitrage trade? Ex post the announcement, the Microsoft stock should fall if you believe in the conventional wisdom. So curious why you're taking a different tilt here.
I'll tell you why. Stay the course with this one of just the average investor. Remember, with any risky asset, don't make it, call this basket, this dopamine basket, a risky asset. Don't, even if it's got the bonds, right? You know, corporations can fail, you know. Don't make this 10%. Make this a small allocation so that you don't undermine your cash position. Cash is king. You must have more cash than this position. And you must also have a 401k. This is not advice for, you know, people say it's not financial advice, but this is not advice for you to usurp your 401k with this. This is a small cash position that will grow quickly, and you will not have to worry, okay, about it. And that should start fundamentally from how much cash you're putting in. Okay, with that being said, stay the standard course of an investor, because once they are acquired, you're going to get share value. Once the company is acquired, you're going to gain potentially value. If there's an acquiring of Nintendo by Microsoft, the stock price can shoot up to buy out the investor. Okay. So this can be shot up by Nintendo to buy out the investor, thus potentially offsetting Microsoft. If Microsoft takes a slight dip, you're being offshot by Nintendo just completely skyrocketing. So you can hedge, you know, pre-buyout if you up your stake in Nintendo, which is a cheaper stock than Microsoft, and have whole shares of Nintendo that can then appreciate in value, and eventually will be converted to Microsoft shares, and you will not lose value in that sense, you know, unless there's some exchange of shares that they do. But where it's like a, you know, I don't know the exact terminology, but if they split it somehow to where, you know, you get this many shares of Nintendo for a share of Microsoft that they give you or something like that. I don't know how they do it, but I do know just stay the long haul, because trying your hand at options is already increasing your risk. You can. I'm not experienced in that arena, but you don't have to. You don't have to think that Nintendo will even get bought by Microsoft. They could just continue to advance in position. And as they have had an average growth over the past year upward, so you could see that Nintendo will continue to compete with Microsoft, thus increasing their share price as they release product. So it is based on them having a product that people want more than Microsoft, and Microsoft is based on having a product that people want more than Nintendo. But Microsoft also makes computers. I didn't say invest in Apple. Microsoft makes computers and phones, especially computers and a lot of other hardware. And I don't see people stopping buying Androids as much as I'd hate it. But Nintendo is one of those companies that they come out with a product and it just blows people's mind. Nintendo is going to be that one that's going to have the first super virtual Mario game. Do you see what I'm saying? Nintendo is going to be that company that's going to have the first Pokemon game that kids are going to hold a Pokemon. That's going to blow their company out the roof. Okay, they're gonna be like, oh, virtual reality, you guys, Microsoft, you got that? You're playing Halo, violent games. We're playing the stuff that kids want to hold a Pokemon in their arms and pet it. That's in the next 15 years. Okay, so that's coming. Virtual reality is coming, but I'm not going to say bet on that. I'm not going to say bet on AI either. Hell no. Trust me, guys. Y'all think that this portfolio is bad, this Microsoft, Nintendo, insurance, Mr. Cooper, and Berkshire, and bonds, and McDonald's. These aren't bad. McDonald's, let's count them one more time. Bonds, Mr. Cooper, Goosehead, Microsoft, Nintendo, Berkshire. If that's not the most addictive American shit, I'm sorry, but I don't know what is. I don't know what is. Anyway, Peter, I digress. You have the floor. You can bleep out my cursing.
Augustine, thank you for your time today. Unfortunately, I have to cut the interview short because of the Zoom time.
Trust me, guys, these are gonna blow. These are gonna blow, and y'all are gonna be sorry if you don't get in on all of these, man. These are Berkshire, McDonald's, Nintendo, Microsoft, Mr. Cooper, home mortgage rate servicer, Goosehead insurance broker, and corporate bonds. I mean, AAA corporate bonds at 20%. Automatic payments no matter what the price. Anyways, Peter, thank you. Thank you so much. I appreciate your time today, man. I hope you upload it and tell people the basket of the year. You know what I'm saying? And of course, there's going to be stuff that outperforms this, of course, but that's not the point. This is a long-term investment. And also, I must say, it is an investment of things I like. Because if you don't like these, if you hate Nintendo and you hate Microsoft and you hate McDonald's, you're not going to want to invest in these. Someone's going to be like, you can't see the forest for the trees. You're not going to want. I like these companies. I think that they get people. I think they know how to hook people. I think every single one of these companies has hooked people. And I think you hedge that with bonds, guys, because you're going to make automatic money. Go for the companies that have hooked people. Go for them. Go for them. Anyways, Peter, thank you so much, man. I appreciate it. Hook them, baby. I mean, gig them. Sorry.
My pleasure.
I'll talk.